Hi guys, this is Scott, KI5 USA, and I recently purchased a 2020 Silverado diesel half-ton pickup truck, and I'm trying to run my wiring for my radio now, and I just kind of want to show you guys what it looks like under the hood and what I found searching on the internet about how you can get through to the firewall to run a wire. There's two access points. One is over here. It's behind all this mess in this motor. And I watched one guy, and he was able to, there's a little nipple that's on a wiring cluster, and I can't even see it in this truck. It's, if you can see back there, see if I can get a better view of that. There's a white, back behind this hose, it's just going to be too hard to see. There's a wiring harness that goes into the dash, and right beside it is a little nipple that you can cut off, and it gives you access to run wiring through there. But the problem with that is, I'm going to walk around the truck here, is once you get through there, you have no access to anything up in there. And what he found when he did this was that even though he got his wire through the harness, because he had a gasoline version of this truck, it doesn't have as much stuff here, he wasn't able to access the wire even though he poked it through the grommet. He was never able to find it. So he did a little more digging, and he found another one. I don't know if we can see this one or not. Let me see if I can get my light in there. Right back there is another one. And it has the same kind of nipple. It's hard to see it. It's way back in there, but it's white plastic. And you can see a little nipple come off of it if you're out here where I'm at. It's kind of hard to see with the camera. Anyway, that one, once you make access to that one, and you come into the passenger side of the truck, then it's going to be back here. If I can get my light set up for this. Sorry about this, guys. This was kind of a last minute idea to tape this. But you have this module here. It's part of the radio module, I think is what I was told. And it's connected to this bracket. And this bracket fits up in there, and this module plugs back in. It's just a holder is all it is, plastic holder. It takes a 10 millimeter deep socket to get this out. And then up here somewhere, I haven't dug around yet enough to find it. Let me see if I can get my light up here. You can see, I can see it, there is a hole up there. It's right in this area, right up in here, if you can see that. And that's the nipple, that's the hole that's at the nipple out there. Now I'm going to attempt to poke a hole through it today and run my my wiring through there. I need to run an antenna wire and an 8-gauge power wire is what I'm going to run into this truck, and then I'm going to put it into its own separate fuse block. I'll mount that somewhere up under here so that I have extra power if I ever need it. Anyway, got the camera around backwards, so that's my plans today, and if I get it done, I'll show you some of the work after I get started. Thanks. KI5 USA, I'll be clear. Hey guys, Scott, KI5 USA, and just kind of updating you where I'm at on running this wire through the firewall. I was able to get my hand in there after I took off. This is the on a diesel. This is the injector. I think is what it is. Ignition for the injectors, and it sits on top of your battery. It's held down by 2 bolts, and I was able to lift that up out the way, and didn't get my hand back there. Had to use a ladder to get up over it so I could get way back in there, and I was able to keep twisting, and I ended up twisting this little nipple off. I got a little bit of slit in it with the straight razor blade, and that gave me enough to get my fingernail in there, and then I was able to work this little nipple off of there. So I'm assuming that's how big around the hole is. It's probably about a 4 gauge hole, I guess. Hopefully it's going to be big enough for what I need. And then I got some lawn string off my weed eater, and I ran that through there. Come back around here, and it came out on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna string my wires up and pull them through using this string. Anyway, that's where I'm at now, and I'll update you later. KI5 USA 73s, and I'll be clear. Hi guys, Scott, KI5 USA. This is a follow-up on my install of my wiring for my ham radio and some other electronics in my truck. It's a 2020 Chevrolet Duramax diesel half-ton. I spoke earlier about how I had to run the wires through the firewall, and I will tell you that is a booger bear to get those wires through there. If you don't have an extra hand, I would suggest you get somebody to help you, because that's what was the hardest part, is pulling wires through that little small space. But I ended up getting my antenna wire through. I've got let's see if I can show you here. I got it tucked down in here right now because I'm not going to be using it yet, but I got some 8 gauge wire that run through the firewall. It's going to go to a fuse block, but I don't know that I'm going to use it, so I didn't hook it up. And then I ran the wiring harness that came with my Yaesu FTM400 DR through the firewall also. In my last truck, I had all this wired into the fuse block that I was talking about installing inside the truck, but I also had an amp for my stereo and stuff, and I don't know that I'm going to do that right now on this truck. I had some issues with my other Canyon diesel. When I put an amp in there, it started having some electrical problems, and the dealer didn't want to work on it because they said I had cut into their wiring, which I had not. It was just wiring that was run back to the amp. There was nothing that I cut into. It was all adapters that I bought. Anyway, just to avoid that, and I ran my power line to right here for that power for the Yaesu, and I ran my ground back here. It's all fused. I don't like these fuses. I'll replace these soon, so I didn't want to put everything in loom, but I did add all this wire loom that's right here, and that's how I do it. Every time I run a wire, I put it in loom just to make it look clean and look like it's factory. And I'll show you this cover right here. Just snaps back on here just like so, and now it looks like it came from the factory this way. Now when I do decide to run power to that 8 gauge, if I ever do, I had this circuit breaker before, and I had it mounted to my truck so that I could turn it on and off. And like I said, I haven't decided whether I'm gonna use it yet, so I didn't install it today, but when I do get ready to, I'll have it all here ready. I'll take you inside the truck. I haven't got the radio installed yet. I haven't decided where I want to put it. But everything will look clean when I get finished. I still got to put all the wires back up in the dash and hide these. Like I said, these are just the antenna wires will go to my radio, and this is that 8 gauge wire I was talking about that I ran just in case I want to run that fuse block. I'm kind of thinking right now that I'm going to put my Yaesu right here. I may Velcro it down to the carpet. I don't think it'll go anywhere. in my little Canyon truck, I had it in the back behind the seat, and it's kind of hard to hear. Even though I had a speaker hooked up to it, it's still kind of hard to hear. So I may put it right there. And I'm thinking about my head unit. I'm thinking about mounting it somewhere over here. Probably make a custom bracket for it. I know they make a bracket that attaches to your seat down here and comes up, that's on a flexible thing. I don't know, I may look at that too, but right now I'm just gonna get it hooked up, make sure it works, and then I'll decide where I want to mount it later. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helps somebody. Like I said, it is very hard to run this wire through this firewall by yourself. So if you can get somebody to help you, it would help you speed up the process. I've probably been at this now for a good 5 hours or so. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and if I can help you, just send me an email, KI5USA73s.